When people are counting the rough sleeping figures, and there's a dispute between actually the real figures and the government figures.
They never had a plan to house homeless people. The only way to hide, like take homeless people away from the streets is hide them away. So for that reason, the homeless people will be rounded up as cattle, as animals, put in a train and take out of London.
Powerful thoughts by charities and rough sleepers in London.
Homeless is not going to end in 2012, and the way that they're going about it is just absolutely ridiculous.
I investigate why charities and rough sleepers are skeptical, although the Mayor of London has pledged to end rough sleeping in London by 2012. Two years ago, there were 3,673 rough sleepers in the capital, but that has now increased to 3,975, a rise of 8%. However, I have evidence that official figures underestimate the true picture of rough sleeping in London.
Last year we turned away 400 people because we don't have the services. We just don't have enough beds to help people.
I was given a travel warrant to go to Southampton. The police said that the head count was coming up and they needed to reduce the figures of homeless in the area. If you ask the homeless people around the streets of Covent Garden, a lot of them have been given travel warrants around Christmas or around big events. The government wants tourists to see London in some sort of utopia, and when the Olympics come around, I'm sure that it will be the same again.
A new campaign called No Second Night Out provides a 24-hour hotline for Londoners to call so that no rough sleepers spend more than one night out on the streets.
It's No Second Night Out is a wonderful aspiration, and it will work for a number of people given the resources that are given to it, but it won't work for some people because, you know, I may choose to spend my second night out because I may choose to put myself in the position where I don't want anyone else's help because my story is that I want to be on my own and I want to deal with it by myself, and if it means me sleeping here for a second night, that is my choice.
I fled from Norwich to London to get away from my abusive partner. I don't want help from the No Second Night Out team because they want to send me back to Norwich. I'm afraid that my partner would track me down if I went back.
Because how many people don't give a damn about them? You know, rejection, abandonment, all the issues that they've carried for years, and the root causes of homeless never get addressed. And when you have people that come driven with these threadbare policies and statistics and goals, people can see where you're coming from, and where you're coming from is not a point of love. And yes, I'm going to use love, because if you don't love what you're doing, then you need to get the fuck out. You can't be geriatric. And with No Second Night Out, they need to bring a home touch. First of all, they need some beds. Those couches, it looks like a flop house, you know. They need to have clothes. There was a man that didn't have no socks on. Just small things. You need a hot meal. You need to bring that human touch.
While there is help available for some rough sleepers, there are others who have fallen through the gap.
You spend the later part of the evening from 9 onwards, you are on the bus until 5:36, and then you get off and then you go to a day center and then you sleep there for a few minutes.
I follow Mohammad one night to find out more.
I don't have that much stuff in here. I only have a couple of books, a few magazines, a fresh pair of socks, fresh pair of boxes, just in case I need. Because 3 times a week, I usually go to the day center, that's where you can shower and change clothes. Sometimes I don't do it all the time.
On the other side of the city, I tracked down rough sleepers who are feeling the brunt of the government's move to sweep the homeless off the streets.
In Victoria, homeless people is housed by the fireman's hose when they sleep, because they sleep around the church, and when they need to clean that area, they just come. Sometimes they warn him, sometimes not. They come very early in the morning and basically blast him with the ice cold water.
Yeah.
That will wake you up.
But rough sleepers tell me a very different story. Preferring to remain anonymous, over 20 rough sleepers at the Westminster Cathedral Piazza claim that they have been woken up at 1 in the morning for the past 2 weeks. Their details are taken and they are told to move on. Then their sleeping area is wet down.
Despicable. Hosing someone down is tantamount to torture. Hosing someone's bed for the night down it's just cruel.
Oh yeah. When I was sleeping underneath of the concrete structure, they're coming every day practically, coming to make sure that I'm not there, and if I'm there, that they move me, and if it's raining, they just pour water on a dry spot where I'm sleeping, just for the stopping me to come back. They just pour from the bucket basically water on the dry spot where I'm sleeping, because it's quite 3 square meters, so it's not a big. We just I don't know, under the concrete ventilation, but something. Basically, I'm sleeping underneath, and they kind of make it wet for me to not to come back there. Why I'm staying on the roundabout is because it's in the middle of the city, but at the same time there's no thugs walking past on a Friday night. Nobody can walk past and kick you or spit on you or start a fight with you for no reason.
Preventing rough sleepers from bedding down does not stop here. These hot air vents used to be a haven for the homeless who seek to warm themselves. Now, they are all fenced and locked up to avoid rough sleepers congregating the area. Back with Mohammad, we wait to get on bus 73 to Victoria Station.
For example, I will take the 25, I will take the 29, I will take the bus, what do you call, N13, at night time, N13, N9, N12, N4453, any bus that offers you the longest time period so that you can sleep.
Mohammad sneaks on the bus from the back door to avoid pain.
73 to Victoria.
I'm in a bus, in a library. Yeah. I was hoping to stretch my feet during the summertime, but it's raining. There's no park that you can sleep in. Sometimes we sleep on the parks if there's enough good weather. You become less of a man, or less of a human being. I might not have for that 50-minute, 40-minute travel duration. I usually sleep during the daytime. The daytime sleep is usually starts at 6 o'clock. The day center that I go to opens at 6. So when I go there, I have a cup of tea, maybe a biscuit or some crumbs that they provide for us, glass of orange, drink that, not up. Rather than be anxious about what bus are you taking or where will the inspectors to ask you to get off, or which shelter will you be sleeping in any human needs. The most basic human needs are shelter and food.
In March, Conservative-controlled Westminster Council proposed a bylaw to ban soup runs and rough sleeping around Westminster Cathedral.
Whether the question was true, were we aiding and abetting, were we, keeping them out there? And at the end of the research, they found out that suit runs were needed. Well, that was a big letdown to the council because, they had all their guns in place and they basically got poo-pooed on. They'd send out the police and, they would start hassling the people. In other words, when the homeless came to get fed, soon as after they get fed and turn the corner, the police got them up against the wall. They were handing out notices of deportation or some kind of crap through the immigration department. Basically, it was a very cleverly contrived way of systematically getting them off the street. I seen this opportunity to move in to King George Hostel. I said, I'm getting out of here because they kept sweating us. We moved from the Piazza. We moved further down to Howard Place where there's no neighbors. And we were still getting hassled. So yes, I'm glad that we came in. Now, is there a necessity for suit runs on the outside? Of course there is.
At 11 p.m., we reached Victoria Station. Mohammad has a set daily routine. He comes to the station, goes to McDonald's for a free cup of water, and rests for 2 hours until closing time.
Are we ready? Yeah.
The center will be closing in 10 minutes.
On the bus, Mohammad falls asleep immediately. He repeats his bus journeys throughout the night, 50 minutes each time on 6 different buses for 7 hours, all for a little bit of warmth and out of harm's way.
But come winter, I have in the past sneaked into a winter shelter for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. The 3 weeks before questions arise or questions about my condition arise, I usually leave the program so that there won't be any 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the most. It doesn't bother me sometimes a little bit. Sometimes my ego overwhelms me and say, why should you be sleeping out on this bench on the street?
As the sun rises, it's a brand new day. But is it a day of hope for the homeless?
I was fired from Starbucks after 7 weeks work from there because they found out I'm homeless.
There was a survey done some time ago that surveyed employees in West London. 75% of those employees said that they would never employ someone with a criminal record. Yet, of those that did employ somebody, 75% of those said that they would employ someone again with a criminal record. So actually it's a perception thing. If people can get over maybe prejudices or what they think as marginalising people because of an issue in their life that maybe on paper it doesn't match their HR policy or something, I don't know, then actually their experience is largely positive.
Trinity provides supported employment at the charity's own furniture store.
We do indeed. Where else do you live? What's your postcode?
And so the jobs that are available are van driver's mate, shop assistant. It provides low-cost furniture for low-income families, and it provides employment for people that struggle to get work. We don't necessarily make a profit because we use all of the money that we make to employ more people. So we employ about 13 people at any one time, and that will be probably about 30 people over the period of a year. The government do work very closely with the voluntary sector, and but what they do is they work very closely with very, very large, often national, certainly regional voluntary sector organisations.
Give grassroots charities the opportunity to make a difference, because the statutory agencies are too driven, too outcome-minded.
Very large charities have very large policies and procedures, and maybe fall into the trap of getting people on a conveyor belt and hoping they stay on it. I think it would be a better policy for the government to work through an organisation like Homeless Link, ensuring that small charities that are producing the kind of outcomes that Trinity are included in the solution.
Many feel that ending rough sleeping by 2012 is an emotive date. So what does ending rough sleeping mean? Does it mean getting people into hostels or dealing with the social problems that they face? Do we stop soup runs and ban rough sleeping to get entrenched rough sleepers off the streets? Is there a gap for grassroots charities to fill? While there is a call for the government to reconsider its strategy in ending homelessness, new reports reveal that draconian changes to benefits will see the middle class becoming homeless.
It's about treating people as individuals. You know, like I say, if there's a guy who is choosing not to use a hostel bed and would prefer to stay on the street, there's a reason for that. There's a story. Whilst politically we may want to make sure that we look the best, what's the point if we're not the best? So let's treat people as people, and let's be honest about it.
This is 2011. Those threadbare policies do not work anymore. You cannot come from here. You have to come from here. If you don't, you're wasting your time.